You have to beat them at least once in either a 2s or a 1s match.
Ooh, and already a great start for SSG. Only 8 seconds in, and they've put in the first goal. This is one of the game modes that they should be the most confident in. I think when it comes to 3s, they have a big advantage against AllMid. When it comes to 1s, I think they have an advantage as well. And 2v2 will probably be the game mode that, well, AllMid will certainly hope to be able to contest, because that's more of an even playing field, I'd say, with SSG having so much practice in the 3s, Spacestation's Daniel having so much practice in the 1s. But we'll have to wait and find out what they decide to go for. But first of all, we're going to have a quick pause as I think it looks like
we have a large ping on one of the players. So that player.
Connection issue. But, hopefully that won't take too long. SSG are going to be tough to beat regardless. I think that they've got a big advantage in the 3s.
All right, so we'll be able to get back into that. Just confirming that there is a restarting of the internet, a good old turn off and on again to get ourselves back into this one. But yeah, this, I can't wait. So we're going to break this down a little bit more for you. As we previously mentioned, best of 5 over here, but the same rule set will apply as well to the best of 7s. After this game, 3s cannot be reselected for game 2. It will either be a 2s or a 1s match, and let's say 2s was selected in game 2, then game 3 would either be a 3s or a 1s match, continuing after that until one of the teams has won the best of 5 or best of 7. I'm so excited, as I'm sure you are, Johnny, because I love 2s, but I really want to see some 1s, and I can't wait to see who's going to step up to the plate and really just make sure that their team is carried on their back at that point, because we were talking about this a little bit earlier on. This is kind of a bit like a football penalty shootout where you might have the better 1s player on the roster, but you might not send that player because you might have a player that's like, they feel ready for it on the day. They trust themselves a little bit more.
Yeah, and with a team like AllMid, it's less clear who will be chosen to play that 1v1. For Spacestation, it's got to be Daniel. I mean, Rettles and Arsenal. They've had
Could you see Rettles wrestling it from him?
Well, I don't think so. But yeah, you know, if they wanted to really flex on AllMid, they might, because Rails and Arsenal are very good 1v1 players, and they're very capable. I think they would be.
I mean,
a good
we've
match
seen
for
them play
anyone.
against each other, haven't we?
Yeah, Arsenal and Rails have in fact played each other in a money match before, so they've got a bit of history, not just in 1s, but against each other in 1s. Arsenal was able to take it that day. But after Rails talks a whole pile of trash against him. Speaking of Arsenal talking, it looks like the admin has informed the teams of what the situation is. And then, no, rather, one of the teams has informed the admin of what's happening. The admin have replied to say copy, and then Arsenal has written paste Lamau. So he's having a great time.
He's on form.
He's laughing at his own jokes in the text chat, which is great to see. I was really hoping that would continue to be a feature after voice chat got added into the game. So Arsenal always the joker there.
Good news as well for you out there if you want to get more crew battles going on at the same time, especially now that we have the technical pause currently going on. If you just go to the very top, if you've got the twitch.tv on at the moment, just go up, copy, paste, open up a new tab for yourself, repaste that, and just put a B at the end of the URL. You'll get yourself over to our secondary stream where we have got Lawler and Spaceman taking us through the other action. That's Rogue against Xset. Possibly the most difficult to call match we have got in this opening round. I mean, it's Seed 4 versus Seed 5, so you would hope so.
Yeah, that's a tough one to call, but a super interesting match. And it's just so interesting watching every single game of a crew battle, because every game just turns into a best of 1. It's less of a best of 7, and it's more 7 best of 1s. Every match means so much, every game means so much. And not just for the series score, just to have control of what direction the series is headed, what game modes are going to be played, in what order. And you know, sometimes in the past when we've seen crew battles, teams have wanted to run back the game mode that just got played to prove that they didn't lose that one just because they were the worst team. It's going to be very interesting to see how many teams do that, picking a game mode that they've previously lost once we get to games 4, maybe even 5 and 6, if this does go the distance. Just to give you guys a quick update on what is happening, there is, I think, an 8-minute, well, not 8 minutes anymore, but it was 8 minutes at the time of the disconnect, started for AllMid to get their third player back into the lobby, and we're still waiting, but I think there's still a couple of minutes left to go before any disqualifications, so bear with us. B-Stream look like there are no games going on right now either yet, but we will keep you updated.
Looking at the B stream, Spaceman is wearing a shirt that is the exact same as his background. It's impressive what's going on over there, but be sure to go and give them support. Be sure to catch all of this week's action. This week is North America. Next week will be Europe. And as well, this is double elimination. So they do have that lower bracket, although you don't want to be going down there. We've seen plenty, even throughout this RLCS split, how horrible that lower bracket is, but we have got them also playing later on today with today's schedule. We've got the first round of the upper bracket, we've got the second round, and I think we've also got the 2 lower bracket first rounds as well, carrying on between both our stream and the other stream. As I'm continuing to take a look, our entire chat right now is just Rettles and Arsenal talking to each other. Are they in the same household anymore, Johnny, or is that a different household?
Not sure. I'm not sure
they
they
did
currently
play
are.
their ones match against each other. Like, they were looking across. We could see them on each other's webcams, but we don't entirely know where they are for now. Like, we don't entirely know where our third player is. The good news is this isn't quite the death blow that it might be for any other tournament matchup, because, hey, you fall for this one, you just go, yes, play twos. We can actually do that one. We've got our players. So, hey.
That's very true. I wonder if that's what's going to be happening, but we're getting very close now. It's Kiki. He really needs to get that internet back and up and running. He's
Start kicking it.
I wonder what method he's got for restarting the internet, because I know for me it's a bit faster. Oh, he's back. Right. We'll hopefully get
back in the lobby.
Game ready. And
I'm looking at that ping. Soon. What's the ping? It's still loading in.
Connected again. Let's see if he's connected again.
He's connected. So
it looks pretty.
We might be all right. We'll find out. It is. It is. All right.
Give us a very unsure update.
It's a thumbs in the middle right now regarding how they feel about this.
Said, I think we good. So, well, let's hope. And it looks like we're going to be resuming 1-0. The goal will remain for SSG. And AllMid are going to need to fight back from behind.
Congratulations to us on perfectly analyzing 15 seconds of gameplay for what I'm going to assume was 7 minutes and 59 seconds. As we do get ourselves back into this. We are beginning the unpause, getting ourselves ready to play as the freeze match is back underway. AllMid, I'm going to have to try and figure out this hit now, because not only have they had the goal again, Spacestation, do you want to take a pause as well? I'm not entirely sure what that was.
Yeah, they're going to want to blame that one on lag, but I think it would just be copium if they do. And look at this passing play from AllMid. We can't take this team too lightly. Remember, this is 1 game of 3v3. Then we'll be switching game modes for 2 games before potentially coming back to 3s. That is, great news for the underdog, I think, because usually if you're going to try and beat a team who are just better than you in 3v3 in a best of 5 or best of 7, it's going to be extremely difficult. But can you take 1 game off them? Hey, I think it's very possible. I think 3v3 will probably be the game with the most upsets, per se, because it is a game where there's less control and everything. The ball is constantly being fired around the pitch and 50-50s are happening. It's so difficult to imagine a player like Daniel being upset in the 1v1, though, so we'll have to wait and see.
Well, it's going to be interesting as well in terms of you can't really find your rhythm to be the same as you have in any other tournament. You're not playing back to back to back to back, especially once we head over to the 2s and the 1s. You're going to have to take at least 5, maybe 8, heck, even between 10 plus minutes out of the lobby, where you're just going to be sitting there, and you've got to come straight back in, fire on all cylinders, and hope that nothing really drops down. But even continuing on with that, even at high-level 3s, we see there's always that moment for the high-level teams that they figure it out. They've got your tricks sorted. It's not going to worry them anymore. But as you said, in 1 game, those tricks can work, and we might even get a chance to see if they can be countered later.
Still 1-0. That early goal for SSG separating the 2 teams. AllMid, who are becoming more of a regular the more weeks go by this split of Rocket League in the competitive world of North America. Proving that they belong there, but a second will be put in by Arsenal from the near post. Everybody on AllMid entering that near post area, nobody able to cover the goal. The third man being demoed there just really left a big gap at the back for Arsenal to exploit.
Yeah, very much going to what Cole said earlier on. They just swarm you the moment they see any sort of problems on your side of the field, whether it be a lack of boost or a lack of players. Rettles tends to make sure of the second one. Although we do see a little bit of a calamity happening on the back wall. Good job there by Arsenal just to spot that. He's had a boost. Still forces some players to pay attention to him. It's going to drop down. Daniel, one-on-one. Is this a bit of a preview of what's to come? Kiri will certainly hope so.
And have we already started the 1v1? Look at Kiri 1v1ing Daniel and threatening the air dribble.
About any of that.
Daniel knew that if he leaned forward to try and block the ball, he was going to get demoed there. He had to lean back and just hope that the shot wouldn't be too fast for him to get back to. But that was a phenomenal job by Kiri. He managed to shoot the ball right behind himself. So as soon as he pushed Daniel away from the position, ball crossed the line.
That does give them a look back into this game. 2 minutes and 15. Shot would have hit the post nonetheless, but Daniel just makes sure of it. Now Rettles back turned. Just a 1-goal lead heading into our final 2 minutes, and a big confidence booster. Not just for AllMid, but especially for Kiri, knowing that he has now got that play locked in. He knows he's beaten Daniel at least once in that one-on-one. That might be something we get to see more of later on as Rettles ends up whiffing it. Daniel dives on in. Angel just went immediately block as the pass couldn't find Kiri. I think Arsenal had it covered anyway. But Kiri's looking dangerous and looking well up to take the fight over to Space Station.
This is very, very close, but they're actually going to concede again. Rettles spots the open net, snipes it in the bottom right corner. You know, great effort here from AllMid, but all it takes is one 50-50 to go wrong for them, and Space Station are going to score. They've taken all their chances. They've been clinical. AllMid have been impressive in the midfield, contesting aggressively, but they haven't had a man at the back for a couple of goals now.
That might be what ends up costing them this first game. That is quite the bounce. Arsenal unable to read it. Rettles with plenty of time. Just the boost totals not quite there if you're over on AllMid. They can't get out of this position. Don't really have the time to be wasting, but it's not great options for them here. Rettles buys some time, puts the ball into his own corner. Makes the setup a little bit easier to read for the rest of his team, and now they're going to the counter-attack off the backboard. Kiri, another good clear away. Doesn't really offer any immediate follow-up, but you can see the confidence that is already popping up as it's popped onto the crossbar and doesn't end up going in, but Space Station have been very happy to hit them on the counter-attack.
Yeah, they've got to get a move on now. AllMid haven't had many chances in this game. They're still on the back foot here. Kiri's actually gone for a bump play onto Rettles, chases him back, receives the pass. Rettles remaining alive on the field though. Before Kiri does catch Arsenal in the back corner. Back pass from Kiri. Angel shoots it first time. Daniel easily able to deflect that into the corner as well. You know, with this urgency of attack, it's something that they have to go for, but it's something that Space Station are expecting, and it's something that they've been able to stop.
And they've had that urgency since about 2 minutes and 30 left here, and that might have been one of the contributing factors to the fact that their goal has been so open on those counters. But it's nice to see a team that's not afraid. I will certainly take that over a defensive performance where you just barely lost by a goal. They tried, it didn't work. Space Station have got game one, and now we get into the juicy part of this format. What are AllMid going to select, and who are they going to send for it?
They're in a horrendous position. It really is a difficult spot to be in. You've just lost the 3v3, and they know that one of the next two games will be a 1v1. It looks like they're going to select twos, which I think is smart. They've got to get one on the board. If they select 1v1 here, they know that they're up against it. They know that Daniel is just simply the best player in this lobby in 1v1. He is one of the best in the world in 1v1, and they're going to pick 2v2. I think it's the matchup they've got the best chance in, but I also think it's a matchup that they remain the underdogs in.
Yeah, this really did come across as probably the biggest must-win, because those ones are a no-go zone. Especially with Daniel in the lobby. It's difficult to imagine, no matter how confident I'm sure Kiri is after that air dribble win. But we do have our twos game coming up. It's going to be Angel and Kiri against Daniel and Rettles. So Arsenal sitting on the sideline for this.
Yeah, you pick twos and you're worried about playing Daniel in the ones. Well, you still have to play Daniel in the twos. This is allowed in this format. You can have a superstar playing in all three game modes to really just carry the team to victory. So that's what Daniel is going to try and do for SSG today. He's got a little bit of help at the moment, thanks to Rettles. Very nice save there by Angel. You have to look out for Angel, actually. He is a player with a little bit of a ones background as well, I expect, unless something that I'm not familiar with about Kiri or Flitz. I expect that it will be Angel playing 1v1 later on against Daniel.
Well, so far they've been completely outpaced, finally getting rid of the ball. And if it wasn't for a slightly whiffed shot, it should have been 1-0 already. Now off the wall, Rettles jumps too early. But they've stolen all the boost yet again. And it's been demo after demo whenever we see Spacestation on offense. Now Daniel with a chance to set. He's one-on-one as Rettles was looking to try and wipe out Angel. Neither of those plays working, however, and it does mean that AllMid have survived at least for now. But how long can you survive? The ball hasn't even seen the orange side of the field since the kickoff.
Yeah, they finally lost patience. Kiri's so sick of being out of boost that he just went away from the goal for a moment to grab some. And as soon as he does that, a shot comes through into the open net. It's so difficult to be disciplined and to just stay in net when you're in a low boost situation for such a long time. That's something you have to do, because as soon as you leave your net open and a shot's coming towards it, you've just conceded. And it would have been a difficult position regardless, not one that AllMid would have been comfortable in. But maybe they could have forced Spacestation to continue shooting for a little bit longer.
Well, risk management is the biggest contributing factor. Oh my goodness, Daniel just sees his shot stopped by Angel. But when you're the player off the ball, you're probably the most important player on the field, just to control the pace of your team, maybe clean up any mistakes and not take unnecessary risks that your team can't recover from. Because guess what? You're the last line of defense. And if you make the wrong decision, it's all over. Rettles off the backboard. He's going to leave it for Daniel. Gets the bump as well. Spacestation Gaming are rolling in the twos game.
This is so impressive to see in a 2v2. You see these kind of plays in 3v3 all the time, but for two players to be this close to the goal, committed this much to a play, with that much confidence in each other to execute their role, is phenomenal to see. The bump had to connect there, otherwise it would have been an open net at the other end of the field. Daniel had no doubt it was coming through and slowly shot the ball on target for 2-0.
Big update as well over on our secondary stream. Rogue are 1-up in that series, so they take the freeze game against XZ. But it is a ones game for game number 2 as Rettel sees his opportunity stopped. And over there for that one, it is Taroko against Cam. So if you want to go and check that out, it is the same URLs we've got over here, just added B at the very end of it, as we have now got the lead cut in half.
Very nicely done by Kiri. Just like in the 3v3 game, they're fighting back here. Rettles went for a fake challenge. He was trying to bait out a shot, but it looks like he's been called in the bluff as the shot just goes right over his head. He was trying to pretend that he would have that covered, but he wasn't close, as he got a bit too close to that challenge before turning.
Just currently Space Station looking to try and prove dominance in all 3 of the game modes. As Daniel takes his time. Half the game gone. Rettles, the option downfield. Space Station not all that scared about positioning their players. They feel more confident. This is why, when you've got Daniel to do plays like this, as the demo is narrowly avoided, and that leaves Rettles in a bit of an awkward spot. Done well, though. Gets the drop-down pass. And the cavalry has finally arrived in the form of Daniel. As Rettles drops it. I love Rettles' positioning in twos. He's just always right in the middle of the field. He wants everybody to see him. He wants everybody to know what he's trying to do, because you have to get drawn over to him, and it gives his teammates so much space.
It's a nice touch there by Angel. Couldn't make contact with the ball, but still managed to knock Daniel out of position, who now tries to snipe Rettles with the redirect. Rettles sends it wide at the top corner. Just like SSG, I've got that synergy, though, as now Rettles comes in again in the play as Daniel's demo left him uncontested. Interesting thing to note about the B-stream matchup that's happening right now. Cam playing for XZ. They brought them in as a substitute. He's a ones main. So XZ really pulling a trick out of the bag here. And
the old fusion trick.
It could prove to be extremely effective, because having that ones player, that 1v1 specialist to cover you for that game mode, it doesn't just relieve your teammates who are less experienced in the game mode, but it also just gives them more time to focus on the more familiar game modes, 3v3 and 2v2, which have a lot more in common.
Yeah, there's a lot of players as well that won't really touch ones all that often. They'll play a lot of twos, so don't really be too surprised to see players quite comfortable to jump into here, even though ranked twos is a very different style of gameplay compared to what they would try and pull out over here. Is maybe not the best clear. Kiri off the backboard. Important touch there from Angel, as he does at least temporarily get rid of it. And the defensive performance here by AllMid has actually kept them in this Despite the fact that they've barely seen anything of the ball, it's still only a 1-goal deficit, but they've got to try and wrangle this away from Rettles, who is playing keep away. Daniel now by himself at the back, does a little fake challenge, forces Kiri to at least move. And the ball straight back into the ceiling again. This has been horrible for AllMid to watch. The time seeping away from them. No consecutive touches. And they've got Daniel just waiting at the halfway line. There is no intent to push forward here by Spacestation. They're just sending one player, pick their shots, wind down the time. And it is all to do now for AllMid. They've got to get a hold of the ball as we do finally see the double commit, but having none of it. So Spacestation are on triple match point.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff by SSG. They have beaten AllMid in, I think, the game mode where AllMid had the best chance to get that win. They looked competitive in the 3v3. They looked respectable in the 2v2. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't think what we're about to see in the 1v1 will be either of those things, as Daniel is just on another level.
Yeah, this is the scary one right here. Daniel, this is the one that he is supposed to be the big, mean wolf of this entire server. However, that being said, Johnny, I am casting my mind back to Fusion. I feel like in that tournament, I said that sentence a lot, and it ended up being right surprisingly few times. You can get caught out by these one-off ones games.
Oh, certainly, and it's not a game mode where upsets can't happen, especially in a one-off game. But when you have a skill difference, it is amplified in 1v1. There's no one there to try to help you. There's no one to back you up to try and survive in a game. And that's really what AllMid did in this 2v2. They were stuck in defense. They were surviving, kept it close. The problem was that they never really presented a threat. And as long as Spacestation continued to recover as quickly as they did, there were no counterattacks available, which is something you need on defense. So we're going to have Flitz in the 1v1. It looks like he's going to step up to the plate here. You know, if we see multiple 1v1s today in this matchup, I wouldn't be surprised if they try a couple of different players, but let's see what Flitz can do against one of the best in the world.
Because I'm sure Johnny Boy's eyes have opened up with glee, and Flitz's eyes sort of narrowed down there in a moment of wincing, seeing that ball come so close towards his net. Daniel, that is... Flitz, that's not how you play that one, buds. That's... yeah, that's a big no-no.
I love his celebration after he realized the mistake, though. Just decided to lean back and slide into the midfield as Daniel easily slots an open net across the pitch.
I think
that's
everybody...
going to be common in ones. It's just such a normal thing to see when you switch game modes and you need to get boost. You decide, okay, I need boost. I'm sick of playing a zero boost. I'm going to go get boost. Oh, I've conceded. So can they avoid doing that? We're going to have to find out.
I love that every single Rocket League player has got their own this has gone very wrong sort of routine. Like the Marky Boy just spams the back button, so if you're on his camera, you just lose it. Oh my goodness, over the top of Daniel. And it is 1-1, and Flitz has made up for the mistake.
Phenomenal shot off the wall. Daniel moving it forward to put himself between the ball and the goal. Didn't expect a first-time shot. He was thinking that Flitz would either bring that down or maybe go for a backboard double. No, Flitz just spotted Daniel in an awkward position. Sent it over his head. Look at Flitz now with the wave dash recovery kickoff. He's got a couple tricks up his sleeve.
Flitz now trying to play this back into his own corner. Daniel waiting for him. Even gets a trip up, but a bump after the fact. So it's now onto the recovery, which Daniel does get the better of. Daniel just sets it up. Look at the control he's got. What a save by Flitz. Flitz is stepping up here, and Daniel got greedy. He went for the shiny thing, and it's caught him out.
What a save by Flitz. Daniel thought that flick had put him in an uncomfortable position. It thought it forced him into an irrecoverable position. And Flitz just immediately accelerated the ball down the middle of the field, punishing Daniel's boost run. And Daniel has thrown away a massively advantageous position there.
I mean, I've seen it before, man. Off the backboard, Flitz does well yet again. He is stepping up to the challenge.
Oh, look at
Although
this.
that one, again, okay, we're Flitz, these like back corners, let's stay away from those.
He wanted to chain dash. He wanted to show off his chain dash mechanics, going for multiple wall dashes in a row there, but Daniel saw him coming, and suddenly Flitz's attempted rush challenge gets easily outplayed, and we're back at a tie game.
Almost saw, by the way, over on the B stream, a 3-goal changeover in the final minute. So that one was a bit close. I think XSET did take it, however.
It did, yeah. We're at 1-1 there.
Okay, yeah, it was at the corner of my eye. I was trying really hard to watch both, as I'm sure everyone else is as well. Great save by Daniel. Even gets a great bounce for himself. Might go straight for net. Instead, sets up and makes sure that Flitz has got no chance.
Clinical from Daniel. Flitz unable to force Daniel into a bad save there. You know, you don't have to score with these kind of attacks, the sort that Flitz is going for there, but you have to at least force Daniel to land inside his goal, because if he just lands on the back wall, slides down into a counter attack, the net will be open for him. Flitz unable to force him into a bad position there with the first shot.
Not a bad attempt there on the flick by Flitz, just didn't quite find the pace for it, as Daniel will be happy to see that the power wasn't quite there for Flitz, but still both these players on occasion just misjudging the distance between the ball and their opposing players. Now Daniel looks for the backboard, catches Flitz out, wrong side, couldn't immediately run onto it. Now it's onto the 50, which Daniel crushes straight through. Seeing a lot of fake challenges mixed in by either side. No one wanting to dive immediately in as Daniel pre-jumps and even gets the best save to pick up the boost. What a play.
And he's right into a counter-attack again. Flip reset, saved at the back post by
Oh, what a bump.
Gonna bump him. Great recovery by Daniel. He committed a lot to that attack, but he got back just in the nick of time. Here comes Flip to the ceiling reset. Flip is available for him. The flick goes low, though, and it doesn't look like Flitz is going to recover. Another good try, but with mechanical plays at this level of difficulty...
what?
Daniel's missed it. What's he doing?
Daniel? You know what, Johnny? I know you're our ones expert. I don't think we need a ones expert to break down what just happened there. That was a whoopsie.
Yeah, anyone
I believe that's the technical term.
Yeah, you've probably all had plenty of those mistakes in your own ranked games. That looked like something that I saw earlier. I was playing a bit of Rocket League myself, but didn't expect to see that from Daniel. He's 1 goal ahead, so this is not a position that he should be trying anything fancy at all. But that was just a wide open net.
Oh, he's got him.
He's threading the air dribble, and it's going to go in.
Did Daniel just not expect it? I mean, Flitz is in a really interesting spot where he's practically taking on the crossbar, and yet Daniel just wants to see it play out. He understands that he's beaten, tries to play for the recovery, whether or not Flitz ended up missing, and unfortunately for him...
I thought it was a bump. Daniel, he flew back down to the ground. He thought Flitz was going to transition into an air dribble bump, so he dove out of the way, but Flitz was just air dribbling. He just kept on dribbling over the top shelf shot, so Daniel made to look a bit silly there. He's covering the wrong shot, just anticipated the wrong shot as well, but great mix-up by Flitz as the air dribble bump will still be something Daniel's thinking about.
Oh, there you go.
What he spins on Daniel for the 1 goal lead.
That is what has been missing. The only thing missing from Flitz's play. He's been setting up well, but the shots have been lackluster. Nothing lackluster about that. That was a boomer.
Flitz is putting on a show here. I'm pretty sure that Arsenal and Rettles, we said that they're competitive ones players themselves. They're probably sitting on the sideline thinking, thank goodness I don't have to play against Flitz in this one, because he's even taking Daniels down at the moment. But 1 goal is all that separates them, and it's about to be 0. Surely Daniel...
Daniel! What are you doing? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It's all right. Get off caps lock Twitch chat. We all knew.
Oh, no. Now, sometimes a slow roll shot in 1v1 can be effective to waste a little bit of time or to win maybe a mind game with your opponent, but that looked like Daniel just completely beamed it again. I'm not sure what's happening here, Shogun.
I don't know, man. But all right, I'm going to give full credit to Flitz. Flitz is playing fantastic, but Daniel, the state of it, mate. What is some of this I've been seeing? We now see Daniel trying to stand up off the backboard and almost caught it, but now it's on the recovery. Flitz took a little bit too long to line up the shot, and it gave Daniel enough time.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal save by Daniel. I thought for a second he wasn't going to attempt the double, but by going later, he made it a bit more difficult for himself. And now he's up against it here. This is a great angle for approach for Flitz, but he misses the top corner. He will get back into the midfield to block Daniel's counter-attack. This is going to be a tough one to stop.
Oh, Daniel going for it. Might be the last play. Ends up leaving it. Flitz has to get the touch. He also needs to recover. Wow. And he's done all of it. Flitz, despite a shaky start, stepped up.
Look at this.
But Daniel doesn't want to give him even overtime. Flitz puts the ball down, and yeah, I like that decision.
Yeah, smart by Flitz there. Didn't want to give Daniel one more possession play, but what kickoff has he got in store? Standard from both. And Flitz will actually be the player to grab the boost. Daniel committed for it, so he is not going to be able to contest Flitz's attack here. He has to just shadow, try and get in the way of what comes at him, and he does. Daniel, this time, defends the air dribble and takes the ball.
First one that's been successful for him across both this game and the last. So Daniel off the corner, difficult to create from here, but the defender can get caught out and just trip over themselves a little bit. It does get easier. Now Flitz wins the race. Can he hook across the ball quick enough? He sees Daniel starting to chase in. Daniel did not jump. That was a big courage test there from Flitz. Wanted to see whether or not Daniel had the right read of where his goal was. But now we go over to the mechanics check. First touch, not great. Second touch, better. The shot, though, not enough sizzle on it.
And Flitz is actually just flipped away, though. That telegraphs his position to Daniel, who knew that he could just walk the ball into the net. And after such an impressive performance, Flitz has made a big blunder there. He revealed the fact that he had no boost, and Daniel knew exactly what to do. Still a great showing there from Flitz, who I think would have surprised a lot of people there. I mean, anyone taking Daniel to do this kind of performance is an impressive